Yeah, thanks so much for having me. And I just want to add an update that actually just last night, these folks who've been deported from the United States to Panama and were locked in this hotel that you see there were transported to a camp near the Darien jungle. And there's about 100 of them, including 8 children, who are now at that jungle camp. Working with my colleagues, I'm working with several other colleagues who have a broad variety of language skills and have been able to speak. All of us have been able to speak to a group of these people who have said that they are being held against their will. They came to the United States to seek asylum, were swiftly deported by the United States, and wound up in Panama, never expecting, of course, to be there.
And Julie, do we know how many in total have been deported from the United States and into Panama?
300 people have been deported from the U.S. to Panama. 170 or so of them have told the International Organization for Migration, which is working with the Panamanian government, that they are willing to go back to their countries. And so the IOM is working with the Panamanian government to facilitate that. And another 100 or so of them have said, no, we don't feel that it's safe to go back to our countries. And those are the folks who have now been transferred to this camp by the Panamanian jungle.
And so, Julie, I mean, they're just being transferred to a camp. Any indication by Panamanian authorities or anybody on what their fate is? I mean, why do you send them from Panama City, the capital, which, you know, has an international airport, et cetera, to a camp in the Darien area?
The Panamanian government has said that it was its plan to send some folks to this camp. It's not 100% clear why they would send them to this camp, but we know that that it was its plan to send some folks to this camp. It's not 100% clear why they would send them to this camp, but we know that for some nationalities, it's very difficult to send people back to their home, either because the governments don't want to accept them or because they don't have paperwork. And so the Panamanian government needs somewhere to put them. I should add
Julie, I mean, no, please do.
Yeah, I want to say that, what this comes from is that, the Trump administration, as so many people know, has made these big promises to deport so many people from the United States, but it really struggles to deport folks from Afghanistan, from China, from Iran for these reasons that we're talking about. And so it has basically created an arrangement with the Panamanian government. The Panamanian government is under intense pressure to please the Trump administration, in which the Panamanian government says, okay, we'll take your most difficult cases. Now, those most difficult cases are the challenge of the Panamanian government, which upon receiving these people has locked them in that hotel, then transferred some of them to this jungle camp. And we are told has not allowed them access to lawyers or given them any indication of when they will be allowed to have any kind of freedom, if any at all.
So with all of these realities, is there any law in any country that these human beings can exist under?
Sure. These human beings exist under many different laws. When they're in the United States, they are subject to U.S. law. When they're in Panama, they should be subject to Panamanian law. In Panama, lawyers tell us that it is illegal to hold people for more than 24 hours without a court order. And the Panamanian government has basically not told us under what sort of legal framework they are holding these people. What the Panamanian government has said, and the security minister said this morning, is that these people are being held essentially for their own safety and for the safety of the Panamanian people.
Really? Okay, hold on.
Spanning 30,000 kilometers from Prudhoe Bay, Alaska to Ushuaia all the way down in Argentina, the Pan American Highway is the world's longest road. It connects North and South America, except for a dense, impenetrable jungle on the Panama-Colombia border. This is the Darien Gap. Known known locally as El Tapón, or the Plug, the only land bridge between the Americas. This 106-kilometer break in the Pan American Highway is deep, dense jungle. It is one of the last great untamed places on Earth, one of the world's most biodiverse locations, an incredibly beautiful piece of nature. But to those passing through, it is
Una pesadilla con los mil y un demonios.
home to just a few scattered indigenous villages. The Darien Gap is devoid of roads, bridges, and infrastructure. It is a world without government oversight, a 30,000 square kilometre wall of swamp, mountains, and rainforest that can only be traversed by foot or canoe. It is one of the wettest places on Earth. Temperatures soar past 35 degrees Celsius, while humidity is suffocatingly high. Movement is blocked by towering, mud-caked mountains, hundreds of swiftly flooding rivers, and an array of dangers including snakes, crocodiles, mosquitoes carrying dengue and malaria, narco-traffickers, anti-government guerrillas, and a place called Death Mountain.
So obviously, Trump is going all out to make people as miserable as possible. But if you find yourself in a situation where you don't want to protest or you can't protest, or it's unwise for you to protest because you're undocumented, or if you're African American, which we're waiting to get involved, we will, sooner or later, to save the country. Sooner or later, we will do it. Right now, we're expecting everybody to do what we've done for about 100 years. And they need to go by our example. But if you can't, this is what you do. You go to 5050.one and contribute. Just contribute. Join them, contribute. This is a place where you can go and contribute to somebody that understands what you're going through, right? Participate. Well, anyway, this is 50 protests, 50 states in one day. And, okay, see this type of shit right here? This is what will make black people not participate, because we don't want violence. However, in order to get things done, you have to make your presence intolerable. Otherwise, nothing's going to change. Trump doesn't give a damn about you protesting. I'm going to tell you now, he doesn't. It is the governors and senators and representatives in your states that want to be reelected. Those are the ones that are concerned about your protests. So the protests are to let them know that they are in so much numbers that they are in danger of not being reelected or even recalled. You can recall your representative. If there's enough people, you can recall that person and have them removed from office and have another election. So this is what they'll be afraid of. Other than that, they're not going to give a damn what you do. They're sitting around deciding how they're going to redesign the country. After they tear up these agencies, they're going to create new ones and design them differently. This is like in the old days, I don't know if you can do it now, but those Windows 95, I remember you used to be able to refurbish your computer. That's what it appears to me we're doing. That the senators have come together and decided that they want to refurbish our system. They want to refurbish it, trim it, get rid of all the waste, and design their agencies better. In the meantime, there is a small group of people that want to completely destroy agencies. And that's where the fear comes in. If they say they want to privatize Social Security or Medicare, that would mean they're going to give you, the individual, the right to pimp what you have in social. Let's say you got $10,000 in your Social Security that you've paid into Social Security. You will get the power to be able to put that out on the stock market and gamble. Problem is, if you choose and gamble wrong, you can lose half your shit. So I'm not for privatizing Medicare. I'm not for privatizing Social Security so they can come in, steal your money and say, well, now we don't have enough money to pay everybody. Let's just kill it. And then here we are with 100-something million people with no benefits, no way to take care of themselves. Now, obviously the elephant in the room is they would like to go back to a time where when you're young, the parents take care of the children. And when the parents get old, the children move the parents into the house. Now, I can agree that that would be a better way of doing things. But our country has been the way it is for so long that to even attempt to change it would create riots in the street. So, and I would suggest even if someone wanted to do that don't do it under Trump. Wait until the next administration and then have those riots. Because the way Trump is now, he wants to deport people to other countries, and he is not friendly right now. Now just imagine, this is a test to see what the world responds to. These 100 people, of the 300 people being sent from the hotel to this Darien jungle camp. Just think of the things that they can do in this Darien jungle camp to people, right? This is just scary. And if nobody says anything about it, they'll say, oh, they didn't say anything. Then they'll pump thousands into it. And then next thing you know, you got 2 million people in it. Now you're talking about a very horrible situation. All you have to do is just YouTube the Darien Jungle, Panama, and you'll see how some immigrants have came through the Darien Jungle to get here. And when you see what they had to go through to get here, bruh, I don't wish that on nobody. The people that got here through that journey, in my opinion, deserve to be here because of what they went through to get here. That's my personal opinion, and I'm not backing off of that. And all you got to do is YouTube the Panama Darien Jungle, and when you see that journey, it is the only untamed jungle on the planet Earth, unless there's a jungle in Antarctica, which is hard to believe. Anything lives in Antarctica, which I need to look and see. Are there trees in Antarctica? Actually, I'm going to do a search on Antarctica because it is said to be that the Darien Jungle is the only untamed land on the planet. That says a lot when you start talking about tigers, snakes, mosquitoes that will kill you with one bite. Just the thought of all of the cartels that are out there, and all of the people who are natural people, native people that are out there, and all the rivers and swamps and crocodiles, and it's just the most scariest place to be. Anyway, those are my thoughts for the moment. That's what's going on today is the immigrants, 300 of them, if you didn't have papers and you didn't want to say where you came from, or if you're from a country that won't take you back, or if you are let out of prison, because I talked to a guy that was let out of, he said that there are some people that will be let out of prisons down there and just sent to the United States. Well, now they know if they go back to their home countries, they'll be put back in prison. Now, I thought that this was all just some Fox News propaganda until I ran into a guy at a shipper in Texas here about a month ago, and he told me, I forget where he said he was from. In one of my videos, I told the story, but I just can't remember if it's Panama or somewhere down Nicaragua, somewhere down there. Somewhere down there, there's a president that was letting people out of prison and sending them on planes straight here to the United States. Now, why Biden allowed it? That parole, what's it called? Probationary parole, immigration status, or some shit like that. It's called. But just think, if you leave here, you're going back to prison in the worst conditions in the country you came from. Well, those people that don't want to go back home to go to prison, they're starting to send them to the worst places. The Darien Jungle and, what's the name of that other place? I can't remember. There's another place. There's another prison on this planet that is giving world leaders tours of their prison to say, hey, we'll take them here. We have a for-profit prison. Hold on, I'll tell you which one it is. Hold on.
The devil himself has nightmares about being trapped inside this state-of-the-art prison. The thing that separates this place from every other prison on Earth is once an inmate enters through its front doors, he will never leave again. No yard time, no transferring, no visits, no phone calls, no outside world for the rest of his life. CICOT was built in El Salvador in 2023 as part of their new strategy to lock up the most violent gang members. And it's working because the country has never been safer, as the people responsible for most of the crime live here now. The lights in the prison never shut off, and inmates don't even get a pillow or mattress to sleep on. The only thing they get is a bed sheet, and they will sleep on these cold, solid steel bunks for the rest of their lives. Privacy doesn't exist here. There's only 2 toilets per unit and no entertainment. All they have to do is sit there and think about the deadly crimes they committed, which led to them being there. But they do get to stand on the other side of the bars for 30 minutes a day to stretch, and that's the extent of the freedom they have. The devil himself has nightmares about being trapped inside this state-of-the-art prison. The thing that separates this place from every other prison on Earth is once an inmate enters through its front doors, he will never leave again. No yard time, no transferring, no visits, no phone calls, no outside world for the rest of his life. CICOT was...
Okay, so now they are entering, and all you have to do is just Google it or YouTube it. CICOT, right? And this prison is offering leaders around the world saying, hey, we got thousands of beds. You send your worst prisoners to us, we'll take them. They put them in boxer shorts and make them, when they walk, they can't walk upright like a man. When they are sending them somewhere, they have to walk bent over. No, I'm just telling you the truth. They have to walk bent over like a gorilla, like an ape or something. They're handcuffed. And they got to walk bent over. Anyway, so you think it can't get worse? Oh, it can get worse. They are designing this shit right. They have put all this shit together in advance. That's what's interesting about this. All these things they're doing, they have been working on this for a few years now. All right, just food for thought here,